Welcome back to Tales of Yuvlar. We are a Mythcraft TTRPG podcast, and this is our first campaign, the Seas 2. I am Corey Griffin, and I am our MC. With me, I have Jesse.
Hey, I'm Jesse. I'm playing Zephyr.
Joey.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Joey, aka Badger, and I am playing Usuri.
Adam.
Hey, I'm Adam, and I am playing Goran Stormclaw.
And last but not least, we also have Kobe.
Hey, it's Kobe, and I'm playing Lesh Shihorn.
Alright. So last time, we had a bit of combat finally for the campaign. It only took us a month and a half.
It was fun, though. Worth
Most
it.
of the prologues. Absolutely worth it.
So we had combat on the campaign. We had
Worth it.
Usuri took a break to the bounty board, while Lesh met up with some old family. Goran decided to give Gregory just a little bit of extra affection, and Zephyr, ever vigilant, decided to watch through Smudge's eyes, eventually seeing someone he thought to have been long ago. What would you guys like to do now?
Do we have any plans to meet up, or do we kind of just
Yeah.
dip?
I think we had all planned to meet.
We had
at-
plans. Yeah, there was a meeting that we were gonna take part in that we'd found out about from the guy that I scared so badly he just ran.
Yes, we waited for the night.
Or no, not him, his
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah,
His friend.
so
And I decided to just wait there instead.
we
Yeah.
have the note. We are all to meet at the docks at 8 p.m. because that's when the ship's supposed to arrive.
And it was the lower docks specifically.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and so I think Zephyr's already down there because
Right.
you've been flying around looking through Smudge.
Yep.
I'm at the bounty board. Let me pull up my map.
You're
I'm at
Jesper's
Jeskar's Keeps. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I think Kobe's in Simon's Symphonies, and
Yep.
Goran is just outside the Red Crow.
Yes. And we were going to just spend some time to do some things. What time is it at the moment?
Oh,
I want to say it was
So-
like early evening.
yeah, it was early evening at the end of
Okay.
the when Zephyr finally saw them through the eyes of Smudge. It was early evening.
Because Goran will probably wait until Lesh and Usuri kind of come back out before he does anything.
Right.
Jesse, did Zephyr tell anybody he was going down to the docks?
I don't think so. Other than just that we were all going to meet there, he was like, nah, I'm meeting there right now.
Okay, that's fine.
He's just hyper focused on these people just sent thugs at me.
Okay, that can work. I can work with that. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, after the conversation I had with my uncle figure, I would be leaving. I wouldn't stay in the store much longer than that. I am broke of the joke, so
Yeah, and then once Usuri takes a look at it, like sees the bounty on the bounty board and finishes his conversation with Jeskar, he would probably go back up to where everybody else is.
Okay. Yeah, Goran will be outside. He's got that little bag of dice that Theodore gave him. He's just kind of got them out, and he's just kind of rolling, just idly passing the time.
How far off am I seeing the ship? Like, around how long is it going to be before they notice me as well?
I believe it had docked.
No, it was still out in sea
Oh, was it?
when,
Okay,
when
never mind.
Smudge saw him.
Okay, my mistake.
You're thinking an hour, right around dusk, probably.
So they'll be there in about an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
ish.
Would me and you, sir, end up meet back up in the middle if we're both leaving? The store is probably roughly around the same time because my conversation wasn't super long.
Yeah, I feel like the three of us would probably be
Yeah.
back in front of the Red Crow fairly quick.
We are going to zoom in to the outside of the Red Crow with Goron, Gregory, Lesh, and Usuri catching up. The street is not necessarily crowded. However, it is also not without some passerby. So there's probably 2 or 3 people walking down the street roughly at any point in time.
Yeah, as he sees you guys coming back, he'll pick up the little dice he's been rolling idly, put them back in a little bag, and then tuck that into his clothes. Stand up and just look at both of you. Just, well, you two, were your endeavors fruitful?
Yes, take a look at this. And Usuri is going to show them the bounty for Zephyr, and where it says that we need to go and meet with the Windwalkers to turn him in. I do believe I have found an inn on the ship that we're looking for.
Interesting.
So, as what I did was fruitful, but not as fruitful as this. I don't trust this man much and do not have an inn that might get us rewarded. I like where this is going more and more.
Personally speaking, I don't think we should turn him in. I believe him to be a better asset, despite who his family is and who his father is. If it's one thing I know, or one thing I thought I knew, family doesn't necessarily define all of you.
Speaking from experience with a friend of mine, it is more accurate than I think you're giving it credit for. Zephyr is troubled and, I believe, lost to an extent, but I don't think that blaming him for his father's crimes would be a useful expenditure of time. I think he deserves the chance to be his own person.
I don't blame him for the crimes his father committed, but I definitely do not feel bad about using him to get closer to the man that I must punish.
Well,
Well, I'm not saying that we shouldn't use him to get closer. It's part of the plan.
And I like to see a reward on the table, is all I'm saying. 'Cause then I know that it was fruitful, and then a story shall be told of how we fucked their shit up.
I liked this story. So it is agreed then. We will act as if we are turning him in for the bounty, but we won't really be.
I think we should also speak with Zephyr regarding this plan before we enact it.
Speaking of Zephyr, does anybody know where he went?
I think Lesh would turn at this point and realize oh shit, he isn't here.
I imagine Goran saw him walk towards the docks, right?
Yes.
Yeah, then I'd say I would gesture towards the docks. He went that way when we split ourselves up. I believe he was scoping out the docks for evidence of the Windwalkers.
Shall we go to the docks then?
I believe so.
I think we shall. I hope the evidence didn't find him first.
You can hope. Goran will untie Gregory and, be ready to start walking that way.
Right. So, you all make your way down to the South Dock. The South Dock is both busy, yet no one seems to pay you any mind. It does seem, as some of you are more acquainted with than others, that this may be the perfect place for criminal opportunity. You don't see many guards. and it seems like everyone is rather hush about what is going on. At the moment, there's only one ship on the South Dock. It is marked as the Saltwater Dragon. It is a 3-mast ship, relatively large ship. People are coming and going off of it. You also see 3 buildings. One is obviously a tavern, and then the 2 other look like they may be dock buildings. There are 3 merchants kind of peddling wares under tents. One of them has food, one of them has what looks to be alcohol, and the other one is just random goods at the moment. The Zephyr is between the tavern and the one dock house.
Okay.
What would you all like to do?
I'll head over towards Zephyr. Not like urgently, but like, I see him, so I'm going to head over.
Yeah.
Just to see how he's doing and what he may or may not have seen and stuff.
So he
Yeah.
will be kind of unfocused, because he's he's gonna look like he's almost meditating, because he is sending Smudge way out. He's got Smudge at the maximum range he can, using his ability to see through Smudge's eyes.
Yeah, just Urkow, the big old turtle coming up. Zephyr, are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. There's a ship coming, and it is the ones that we are looking for. The ones who had the bounty on. I know the man on it.
Interesting. Speaking of the bounty, we have something we'd like to discuss with you. Probably not in the open like this, but this ship, do you know roughly when it will arrive at the dock?
I would guess that it will be here within the hour.
Are Yusuri and Lesh over here as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
standing there with you.
Oh, so I suppose we should speak quickly and formulate our plan.
Is Zephyr sitting on the ground?
Yes.
Or you-
Yeah.
So, whenever you come out of the fog of seeing through Smudge, Yusuri will offer his hand to help you up.
Okay. Goron was about to pick him up and put him on Gregory. Uh, but
So
yeah.
he'll kind of once we started talking, he would kind of snap back, because it is just glimpses.
Okay.
I'm not able to see through the familiar's eyes for very long, so it's just kind of
Okay.
a few seconds each time. So as soon as we started talking, he kind of snapped out of it, but he would take your hand and stand up and kind of make a mental note to Smudge to start returning.
You
I
need
think
us to
I
drag
would
the
just
tokens in.
be sitting there quietly, kind of just.
So yeah, should we head into the tavern, or is there a different place we would prefer to have this conversation?
I think personally, I'd like to keep my eyes on this boat. I'd rather not be surprised by any more Wind Wakers in my life.
Right.
They could keep an eye on them, Smudge, and give us a warning when they get near to dock.
God. I like the sound of that. I don't want combat to spill out in any more of the locals have to deal with that trouble.
Yeah, so I feel bad about business at the Red Crow already.
Yeah, Lush would eye Yusuri again over that weird tab that happened there. Just yeah. I do feel bad about that.
I wouldn't feel bad about that. Jim knows what he's doing. He'll be old again.
Right, well, regardless, I think we should share the information that we have and come up with an actual plan. to deal with the ship before it arrives.
Yes, well, we know they want the boy, well, so why not act as we give them? Like we said, we use him as bait per se, and we get onto ship. We see what the reward.
A little raccoon Kleppen comes walking by the alley while you guys are talking and just keeps walking.
Like, does he slow down and notice, or does he not care?
No, you guys just take notice of this guy walking down.
Everybody stops and just stares at him the whole time. Just
Lesh has no is not the secretive type at all. I'm not really. She didn't even realize it. Just kept talking, probably.
I mean, yeah.
To be we talk loud. I'm a storyteller.
Yeah, Goran's not one for clandestine meetings, so it's not like he's being quiet, but he does see when he's not talking, just kind of watches. Not like conspiratorially, but just, oh, right, people are close by.
Maybe we should either go deeper in the alley or find somewhere more private.
Yes, let us go somewhere a bit more private.
Right. The tavern, then? Or is there somewhere else we would prefer to go?
I am unfamiliar with this port, so I'm not sure the best place. I don't know that a tavern is the way to go.
We could go deeper into the alley and use Gregory as a sort of obstacle.
I would never want to put him in harm's way.
Neither would I. It's more for the sake of privacy than anything.
Odd, if you're listening right now, maybe we could use some divine intervention.
No.
Damn it!
Dude, tell us what the right answer is.
Usuri is gonna step back out on the street and just look around to see if, kind of like the general setting, like is there an alleyway or somewhere behind a building we can go or anything like that, somewhere tucked away.
You could go ahead.
Are the docks themselves pretty crowded?
There is you see two main docks, one of which has a ship in it already. The other one is relatively empty at the moment. There are some boxes and crates and stuff that are on that dock, and a crane to help load things into the dock, into that boat, but there's not a ship there. It's a pulley system crane. But go ahead.
With having experience being on a smaller island and being in the business of extorting people for money, I feel like Usuri has a pretty decent idea of how shady, how to make useful areas for shady business, basically. So I was just seeing if maybe I could use a perceiving or fortuity check or something to.
Go ahead and give me a luck check. Yes,
Fortuity?
would work.
Fortuity. I'm averagely fortuitous. I got a 10 in fortuity.
So with a 10, I mean, this is a relatively narrow alley. It wouldn't be your favorite spot to do business, but you think if you move back off the main road a little bit more, you'll probably get away with talking to people without much problems. But if you were to start extort money in the situation, but you wouldn't mind talking in shady business, especially since you've yet to see any constables or anything like that in this area.
Perhaps we should just move down the alleyway. I think we'll be all right.
Well, you said so. That sounds fine with me. And so I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay. So you guys move down in the alley a little bit. Gregory kind of follows along after you for a certain bit, and then you stop his movement. He's a giant turtle. It's hard to get past him in this narrow alley. He's gonna have a hell of a time backing out, but maybe you'll find a way around for him later.
Just Austin Powers' turn.
Oh my god.
It's fine. If he just shrinks into a shell, he can spin himself around and then pull back out.
You know, if this wall wasn't in the way.
Hey, if these buildings were. Okay. So,
Okay.
No one can see you, and you can't see anyone past him.
I'm alright with that.
So what information do you have?
Well, for starters, I think you should take a look at this. And I would hand Zephyr the bounty.
Okay, and what does it say again exactly?
It says, wanted alive. Zephyr, paid by the Windwalkers, and it has a crude drawing of you.
For 1 million gold.
I don't remember how much. I think it was a couple thousand.
It was like,
I would say it was like 3 or 5.
yeah, I think.
I want to say it was
3,000.
5.
5,000 sounds right. So yeah, for 5,000.
Les wants that money.
Alive. I thought they were here to kill me.
Evidently, they want you alive. And for a decent price.
Are you all planning to turn this bounty in? He says, kind of somewhat defensively, just fully expecting he's about to get jumped in an alley.
Well, that depends.
Oh,
He's regretting his decision.
suddenly that turtle's a lot more concerning, huh, boy?
He's about to be jumping some rooftops.
Les is in the back doing the snaps like.
What are you, Lesh, what are you doing?
sorry, just
I believe they're insinuating that we use this as an opportunity to board the ship without difficulty, and then betray their trust in our greed to get closer to our main goal. Is that, as I understand correctly, is that accurate?
Yes, that was my plan. Loose knot around the wrist, we bring him in, we see the gold on table, knot unties, we fuck shit up, take gold. Simple.
He makes a fair assessment of the idea of the plan. My question for you, our goal is essentially the same, is to kill Aegis Windwalker.
Yes.
Yes.
He is your father. Will you have a problem killing him?
He was no father of mine for many years. I only just was informed of him being my father roughly 6 months ago. And in that time, I was at first treated like a crew member, but heavily insinuated that I was to remain aboard this ship and with that crew, whether I wanted to or not. There is no love lost between us. The man I consider my father also lied to me for many, many years. So, I have really no father.
Well,
Would you agree with this statement? In the statement, the actions of our kin do not define our own lives.
rate on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is strongly disagree. Sorry.
I have no choice but to hope that that is the truth. Otherwise, I am doomed.
Personally, I 100% agree that the actions of our kin do not define our own lives. I want you to remember that in the future, because we're going to find out things that my family has done, and I had no part in it. And it involves your father, for lack of better terms, as well as mine. As far as I'm concerned, you and I, Zephyr, are allies through and through.
I appreciate those words, and I would be happy to count you among my allies. Up until now, I've had very few.
The last
that-
one was Smudge. The first.
Yeah. He was like the only one.
Now, with that being said, I need you to put your hands behind your back. I'm going to tie them together now.
Before we move forward with this plan, I will warn you that the person aboard the ship that is coming this way is a very dangerous individual. I haven't seen him in direct combat very much, but his skill with a knife is unmatched by any I have seen. And he is very fast, for lack of a better word. I don't know who else is aboard the ship, what the rest of the crew might look like. I know it's not... Is it the Seas Gem or the Seas Jewel?
It is not the Seas Jewel.
Well, I know, but the...
Oh, the flagship's name is the Seas Jewel.
I do know that it is not the Seas Jewel that is coming. It is a much smaller ship. So I cannot attest to the rest of the crew. But the man aboard the ship goes by the name of Klep. And man is a bit misleading. He's a Kleppen.
Laughable.
More of a rabbit. So, I would advise to caution with this plan. But if this is what you all agree on, then I have no choice but to go with it.
Oh, you have a choice, Zephyr. This is your life being put at risk to be used as bait. If you're...
One way or another, I am going to board that ship when it arrives.
Yeah.
I fully intend to exact my revenge for the death of my friend. And the best way that I can see that happening is by boarding this ship and finding out where the rest of the fleet is. Though my way was going to be a bit more bloody because I thought they were trying to kill me. But now I see they were wanting to take me alive, which to me is almost a fate worse.
I suspect this path will be no less bloody than the one you were determined to walk down, but we will walk with you.
In fact, I encourage it to be bloody. And Usiri will pull the tarp that you see that he's had slung over his back, and he's gonna set it down on the ground, and it's with a thunk. I mean, when he puts it down, it's a and he's gonna unwrap the tarp, and you see this giant anchor with like filigree all over it, and it doesn't look like a usable anchor for for a boat. It looks like it's been forged to be used as a weapon.
What the hell is that?
I am unfamiliar with seafaring in general. That does not appear to be a functional anchor.
I'm quite familiar with seafaring, and that is not a functional anchor.
This-
Lesh, give me an intellect check.
Is it about some naturey stuff that's going on by any chance?
No,
Okay.
it's not.
It's some history, though.
Nope.
It is.
Oh, I don't know history. I skipped that class in the Grove. That's a 14 though.
It would be something Arya told you about.
Well, no. Well, yes,
Damn it.
but that's not
Yes.
actually where this is going.
Oh, okay.
That was a 14. So with a 14, as you look at this filigree on this anchor and the fact that it's obviously designed as a weapon, you remember the story that your grandfather told you about Pietro Partico, one of Farron the Great's companions that would wade into war with an anchor. He was also known as the Shield.
Okay. Lesh, you hear a very loud click of a notebook as Lesh's storybook is open, and you hear himself, "Oh, it's my time. It's happening. It's actually fucking happening. I didn't think it was real. Holy shit!" And like he's just scribbling to himself, looking at the anchor. He like ignores. He just walks up to the anchor and is like starts scribbling, looking at it like, "This where did you receive such a beautiful piece, man? I've heard stories of something quite similar that from people in my past that have a great importance to me. So please inform me."
This is a family heirloom that has been in my family for generations. It is a representation of loyalty, family, and character. I took it from my father's office the morning I woke up after he drugged me, and then left forever.
Quite the tale we shall tell, my friend. I know it may seem tragic now, but I believe there is something grand awaiting you ahead. And I would like close the notebook, and at that point I would have just like turned around and started like completely dropped it at that point. It's like a spark had like disappeared from the eyes and is just back to normal, kind of realizing he'd gone it super into it and then like tried to like calm down from it.
Well, that's interesting. It does bring up an interesting point. They will not believe that I am a prisoner if I am carrying my weapons. He's gonna turn to Goran at this point because, I mean, it's Goran. He's definitely the most trustworthy looking guy in the area. Would you be willing to hold on to my weapons for me? And he's got a bow and a bunch of daggers.
Yeah.
And return them to me when the time is right.
Of course. Kind of take him, kind of put him in his bag somewhere.
Yeah, I figure you with the turtle would be the place to. You've
put
got
your
a place
fingers
to
down.
carry extra stuff.
Yeah, so he'll squarely away in his bag that he's carrying. That will stay with him when we go onto the boat, so that Zephyr will have access to his weapons.
Sweet.
Hey, Jesse, what is Zephyr's strength?
1.
Oh, okay.
-2, baby.
I was going to say, Zephyr is stronger than Goran.
Most things are stronger than Goran, I think.
Also true. But Goran is stronger than Lesh.
I'm only getting weaker when I level up again.
All right. With your plans made, this conversation taking 20-25 minutes or so, are you guys going back out to the main docks? Or how are we binding our friend Zephyr?
We definitely don't have to do that until we're ready to like actually go to the ship. I mean, even though they're going to be here in like an hour, I think it's going to be like another hour after that. It's the meeting time anyways.
Right.
So
Very much.
I figured the way that we can do it is we'll wait until closer for us to go, and then we can bind, and if possible we can even hood Zephyr and have him ride on the back of
Yeah,
Gregory.
I was thinking about how to get him on the boat anyway, so that's smart.
Okay.
That works. That works.
Just tied up on the turtle. I fucking love it.
Is there anything else we want to do before the meeting?
I don't think there's anything else I can really do. I feel like I'm missing something though, and now I'm stressed out.
Would I be able to cast Hunter's Quarry when the ship is near? It's got a range of 90 feet. Is there any way I could do that without being noticed?
I mean, you could do it once the ship is docked. You could do it.
Like
But
as
I'll
we're
let you-
walking
I'll
up
let
to
you-
the boat.
Well, even if it's right as it's docking, which you guys were waiting an hour or so to approach for the actual meeting time, you could do it. I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
being kind of over in the shadows of the alley.
Mhm.
You see a flash of blue from the alley, and nobody's like, "What the fuck was that?"
I mean, it is primal magic. I feel like it's not as obvious.
Give me your casting stat is awareness or endurance.
It is awareness.
Go ahead and give me a awareness check.
Okay, just a basic stat or adding anything.
It's just a magic check.
That is an 11.
Okay. There's a little bit of light that comes out, but not a whole lot. But you cast your spell.
Targeting flat.
Yes. Yep. So,
The
as
one
you
that
all
gives
look,
you the TA. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Corey.
no, go ahead.
It gives me yes, tactical advantage, and I've got like a +6 to track if I need to.
Gotcha.
And recall information about it.
Yep. All right. So, as you guys look from your alley, you see on this ship there is the rabbit folk that has been described to you, as well as 4 other dragon folk sailors that are also on the ship. Each moving about, doing their own thing. As they pull into dock, one of them gets off of the boat and goes over to this pulley crane, and they start to unload some things from the boat. Zephyr, you would know that this very much looks like a moving resupply.
Okay.
Some of the Windwalkers, sometimes they will use smaller ships to go to dock, unload supplies, get new supplies, and then go back to the Seas Gem.
And I would let the others know that this means that the Seas Jewel is probably nearby. Not directly nearby, but it's not going to be far off from one of these.
Well, when would be the best time to initiate this plan?
Well, that depends. What are we going to do with the ship if this goes bloody?
I would imagine take it.
Maybe we let them finish resupplying first.
Am I pretty familiar with the capabilities of one of these ships?
Yes. So you look at the single mast ship. You know that it probably, as you investigate the ship, it does have 2 cannons per side. It requires 4 to 8 people to operate fully. If you have less than 4 people, then you lose some of its capabilities. And you would say it's worth roughly 10,000 silver pieces.
We could definitely take this ship. It would be a crew of 4 to 8 could run this ship without much difficulty. So we would be able to operate this ship, but it certainly is no match for the Seas Jewel.
No, but it would be a step closer.
Indeed, and this is a resupply ship. We may be able to use it as sort of a sheep's wool to get closer to the Seas Jewel. Though boarding that particular ship might be an entire matter all to itself.
Yes, I suppose there will be steps between here and there, but I think for now we need to get that ship.
Hey Corey, how long would it take you, Siri, to go and find the Raydeen that he recruited?
About an hour.
Okay.
What if he was able to describe him to Zephyr, and I could tie a note to Smudge's leg and send Smudge?
I mean, you could send Smudge pretty easily. Now,
Very
whether they would respond to a letter or not, you would have no idea of time frame. You think Smudge could
That's-
get there in 10, 15 minutes.
That's fair.
Also, can they read?
That's another fair point.
Not jokingly, legitimately, are they literate?
You do not know.
Doesn't hurt to find out. I mean, if we want to, if you're cool with it and would
It
suggest
might-
it, we can tie a note to Smudge, and I'll describe the Raydeen. I mean, you would have also seen them because they were the
True.
Raydeen in the Red Crow. So I would recollect that information too, and then just sign a note that says, "Come to the lower docks, your employer."
That works. I would send Smudge on that particular.
And then I feel like there's a luck check coming up here.
What I need is Smudge's awareness check.
Smudge's awareness check. I have his stats somewhere.
Is there a chance I could pet
You said
the bird
awareness?
and tell a story and give it some little bit of a boost to
Would
that
that be
skill check?
would perceiving or tracking apply?
Tracking will work best, I think.
Tracking. Okay, so that is. I don't have him programmed in at all, so I'm just gonna type roll it.
Oh,
Okay.
loving dice.
That is a 17.
Yeah. And Smudge goes flying off.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Not too much longer. It's probably about a half hour. Yeah. It's about a half hour. Smudge will come flying back with a new note attached to his foot. It says, "Give us 40 minutes."
Okay, I can work with that.
Sure.
Theoretically, if math is, finite, that puts us
Could be
10 minutes
10
over
minutes
8
from
p.m.
Yeah, it gives you.
Oh, yeah, no.
10 minutes past.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
We can make the conversation drag out a little bit. Fluff it
10
up.
minutes of, yeah. No, it'll be fine. I don't know that it's gonna make for like a good reinforcement kind of thing if it gets to that point. Either that or, and I was gonna, depending on how this went, I was gonna bring up, while Smudge is flying around, Usuri would have brought up that he's got two Raydeen under his employment now, and that they'll be on their way. Do we have a specific task that we want them to do? Like, do we want them to stand further down the dock, and if anybody tries to rush the dock because they notice that something's going on, they stop them, or stuff like that? That would have been the direction I went with that conversation.
I was going to say, I think either keeping people away from this area if things go south would probably be the best.
Yeah. So with that being said, if the Raideen or when the Raideen, we'll probably wait for the Raideen to show up then. I mean, being late is late. It's whatever. It looks probably suspicious if we're there at 8 on the dot anyways. So when we'll wait for the Raideen, and then when the Raideen get here, I'll just tell them, like, we've got some business to do on the dot or on this boat. I need you to keep people away from it.
All right, boss. That we can do. Okay. With the Raideen now, and everyone having their tokens kind of active now. Wait, what happened to Smudge? Where did Smudge go?
He's on the mast of the ship.
Oh. Joy.
He's just cheeky like that.
I mean, it's very vibing.
So you now have everyone. How are you all tying up Zephyr?
I have rope.
Okay. You're just going to tie him up with his own rope. So, Jesse, you are going to have the restrained condition.
Okay.
Could I try to roll a disguising check to make it look like it's a good knot, but he's not it's like just a breakaway?
I'll take a dexterity check.
13.
All right. I mean, it looks like a rather solid knot. I have now adjusted the DC for him slipping out on his own.
Hell yeah. All right. Just want to make this look a little bit looser and tighter at the same time. And adjust it for you.
Now, are we hooding him as well? I heard that.
Yep.
Okay. Jesse, you are getting the blinded condition.
Okay. He will be looking from the overview of Smudge's point of view.
Yep,
As much
so
as
you are-
possible.
You are now on top of the deck looking down, and you take notice of Klep walking quickly back and forth.
Yeah, that's about normal.
Oh,
Whoops.
oh, Clip.
Oh, damn. Clip got wide.
All right.
Clep slipped into the fourth dimension for a second there.
So those guys are where they are, right? They're not moving.
Yeah, so the other 4 seem to be unloading the barrels and such still. It's
They're
been
doing
about an
dumps.
hour. Yeah, they're doing normal sailor stuff. Who is going to be leading the turtle?
I would say I can be in the front since I'm intimidating and imposing. If Goron and Lesh want to be on either side of the turtle, then the Raideen can be in the back.
Okay.
Okay. And do you have Gregor's leads?
No, I would say we can let Goron still lead him. He's
Okay.
just not standing in front.
All right. And then the Redeem would stop. Well, you guys start making your way onto the dock. And you come to this dragon folk that is dressed as a pirate. Much like a pirate. And he sees you all approach and he's like, "Now what there can I be doing for you, boy?" At this point, we are going to end this episode. So, thank you all for listening to this episode. We hope you are enjoying listening and would love it for you to let us know. Catch us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok under Tales of Yavard Podcast. Links to our link tree are in the episode description. If you really enjoyed the episode, give us a rating on whichever podcatcher you choose to use, and tell your friends and spread the word.